not broken. It works so well, and it feels like you're kind of pigeonholed here. They're gonna go with the Leona. Maybe, you know, look a little earlier. Like, again, I don't think Kanavi was bad on this Lee Sin, but this is a weird situation right now for JDG. You can see they're just cycling through things because they're kind of realizing they're also stuck.
I mean, I don't think the Lee Sin was a problem. I think Leona's fine as well. It was kind of just RNG is so good with their Twisted Fate, and it felt like JDG just couldn't get the Lee Sin ahead. They didn't have enough agency on the boss side. They weren't able to make ganks happen against the Akshan. So maybe they're happy with their first rotation. They're more worried about the second rotation. But this is exactly the same as the last draft, like pound for pound. RNG took Aphelios Jarvan here, and it looks like they may just repeat that. But we'll see. We'll see. Well, hold on, because I think that's the thing is, like, I think it takes a lot of foresight as a team to win a game and then say, okay, we won, but there's still things we could have better, right? Like, maybe they look at this and go, okay, maybe the Aphelios wasn't the optimal pick of the situation. Maybe it did get outranged a bit. So they are taking the Jarvan, and we'll see on the AD carry pick. They could just end up running it back. I don't think that's wrong, but there is definitely some times where even the winning team with the same draft will change things, but for now, they haven't seen a reason to. Now here, it was a Ziggs pick from JDG, and it looks like they may well just take that as well. And then, you know, I will have to see what comes up in the second rotation and see what changes there. Perhaps an Akshan ban could be something I look towards, but last time they banned Camille and Gwen, which were, you know, pretty big picks for Bin. So I don't know. You know, considering how bad game one was, this is a bit too similar for draft for me, because I don't think it was just a draft. Don't get me wrong at all, but I definitely think like the TF was very problematic.
I think you just ban the Jayce here if you're RNG. I don't think
imagine
there's a problem with that.
Imagine if we get the exact same draft.
Salty, run back. Salty, run back.
Oh, I swear, if we get the same exact picks throughout, I'm just gonna be like, yeah.
Well, I do think even if the bans are the exact same, you can swap up the top side. I think one of the biggest issues we had from JDG in the last draft was they picked the Graves before they picked the Corki when they didn't need to. Yes, there was a couple of different options there, but I feel like you can go for something. And now RNG are actually saying, we're gonna take away your options and we're gonna take away Corki from you.
Yeah, they're gonna make JDG's draft even worse.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, I'm gonna say this. This is a godsend for JDG. No longer can they mess up the package timings with the Corki off the table. You know, so there is a silver lining to this situation, but we'll see. I think they could still take away Jayce here. I don't think Jax is as much a concern, in all honesty. I feel like Jax is like a good answer to Camille and Gwen, rather than the other way around. So with those banned, I feel like Jax is less a concern, but they actually still opt to go for it. I know 369 is comfortable in the champion, so it makes sense, but it does mean Jayce is potentially available. And I mean, Jayce is actually, I know you were saying picking the top as a counter pick fifth, but it wouldn't be that bad to take Jayce in this situation. It is a strong
Still
pick that you can blind
as well.
Yeah, it is still technically a flex. I will say though, playing Jayce in the TF is not a fun time, so maybe they don't opt to do that because of that. And they're actually going to go for the Viktor in this situation. So this kind of does pigeonhole them in a little bit. You really need an AD top laner, and the pool, there's still quite a few, but it has been reduced to an extent. We'll see what RNG opt to go for here.
I mean, it's kind of Graves or Jayce right now, and I feel like right now RNG,
like I
said, they know what they can go for.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
you could bring out Gangplank as like a bit of a one. I mean, the gold card can get negated by the oranges. But we'll see. We'll see. Jayce is going to come out with Bin from Bin, and it looks like they might just go for the Nautilus again. So pretty similar things from RNG. Nothing changed too drastically, other than they now have the Jayce instead of the Akshan, which, you know, I think they're completely fine with that. And actually, it does. We were talking about the range issues a little bit last game, how that potentially could be problematic. Because JDG no longer have the Corki, they now have a Viktor who's shorter range, because there's now a Jayce instead of an Akshan. That isn't nearly as much of an issue in this game.
Exactly, you've got a little less to worry about in terms of the 1v1 or the tower, the auto attacking, I suppose you say. But there's a lot more burst available to you with that Jayce. You can hit people with the accelerated shock blast, and that just facilitates this Aphelios. This feels like it is kind of leaning back in towards just setting up Gala, setting him up for success on this Aphelios. And we kind of had in spring 2021, it was the Kai'Sa. In summer, it was the Varus. And now in spring, it could be the Aphelios for Gala that he's not necessarily a one trick, but every split, he picks one thing to trick, and it just works so well for the team.
Yeah, and they lock in the Scion. Not too sure about this one.
I was kind of giving you time to figure your thoughts about it and figure out what you wanted to say, because honestly, I don't love it.
Yeah,
I'll
I don't
be
love
real.
it either. Well, okay, let's think about what it offers. One, there's another form of engage, which is a nice thing because it did feel like sometimes they were struggling to connect with Aphelios and Twisted Fate. So won't complain about that.
For RNG, more of the same from game one. They want to try and bounce back after the loss to FBX with a swift 2-0 of JDG. And this is going to get a little bit difficult for the side of JDG if they can't find some kind of early momentum. I feel like if this Aphelios and this Jayce gets ahead again with the Destiny Gate, it just becomes impossible.
Yeah, it becomes really difficult to really see a route in. And again, it's like, it's not just the fact that you're enabling your team, you're shutting down the other team. And now I look at Kanavi and it's like, where are you playing through? Because playing through a Viktor ain't so hot. Playing through 369 is okay because he can actually set up quite well, especially when he hits level 6. It's quite easy for him just to run down bin. But, you know, you're not too desirable getting the Scion ahead. And bot lane's an option, right? But it kind of means one of the limiting things is when you only have one lane you really want to play through, you're very predictable, right? And if you're predictable against a Twisted Fate, you're going to have a bad time.
Gotta be creative. You gotta have those, you know, creative juices flowing as you try and get yourself around the map. And we'll see how it all works out. Corrupting potions for both Yagao and Xiaohu in that mid lane. They both look to try and just get an early advantage, get back onto the map as quick as they can. Like you said, big spike from the level 6 point. So see what they're able to do. Kanavi has been spotted out on this wards. They have full information of exactly where he is and what they have been doing. Missing will go in this time around. Actually, Missing has gone with the aftershock, which has just worn out. A little bit scary there. Just pop a pot and has got the extra little bit of healing from the Time War tonics, so is able to keep himself relatively healthy, but needs to be a bit careful here. Goes forward a bit too far and it could end up getting caught out.
I really like the aftershock, so I think both options have their use cases. The reason why Glacial Augment can really good into like Thresh is because normally you get flayed out, so you can't reach Thresh to land your Q stun, right? But against Nautilus, you don't really have that concern because you E in, Nautilus can't really react to interrupt you with his Dread Slide, and then you will get your stun. And the big thing about the Nautilus Leona matchup is aftershock plus your W just means you're basically immortal, right? And he can't stay in extended trade. So I like the take from here. It also, we saw Missing get popped constantly in the last game, makes him a bit tankier now. Missing can look for this. I think Kanavi, I assume he didn't get spotted there because Gala and Ming are stepping up. They overstep. This is a really easy opportunity.
I don't think they're going to. They will spot Wei, so they know that Wei is not in the spot side, so yeah, they're pinging him. They had a feeling that he was somewhere around there, and I think Kanavi just kind of giving a little bit of thought to it, didn't really want to go too far onto it, but now they know that he doesn't have blue buff, so they know that they can try and take away this camp. They can even try and pressure onto the scuttle. There's so much going in favor now of RNG just from that small little bit of information they were able to garner.
Yeah, they got the information advantage, and obviously they cleared out their wards, so it's them playing well as a team to give Wei the extra advantage. And this is kind of the thing we saw last game, right? MVP was Wei, but it was how the team played around the jungle, ensuring that they're facilitating Wei to be able to know where Kanavi is, preventing him from finding any pressure. And it's little things, right? Like getting that ward on Raptors means you know the timing of the second Raptor spawn. So if you want to invade it with your TF, you're more than comfortable to do so.
That is not the end of the world, of course, for Kanavi. Doesn't mean that there's a little slight advantage now for RNG. They've got some pretty decent cash lanes as well, the Twisted Fate, and of course the first strike with Bin in that top side. So he's going to be feeling pretty good. Kanavi, though, not done just yet. They may get a flash here out of Xiaohu. They will. There's the Q going to land. They flash in. First blood. JDG get the exact start they wanted.
Yeah, and honestly, the wave was in a bad spot there for Xiaohu. He wanted to shove it in and reset. Didn't have any assistance from his team, and so wasn't able to get in a position where he could do so. That was the game plan there, right? And he kind of needed someone to be there, but, you know, bot lane was still in place, Wei was resetting, and as a result, it was a good gank opportunity from Kanavi. And this is already a better start than game one, right? Very early to say that, but the fact that you get that kill, you get the flash from Xiaohu has a long-term impact, right? Because now Xiaohu can't push the lane so easily. Because anytime he does, he's threatened by a gank, and without flash, he's vulnerable. And the second you limit that ability to pressure the lane, it's going to limit the ability for him to impact the map with Destiny. So I love when you have a global, you target the lane with the global so that they aren't able to roam out.
Aren't able to roam out, they aren't able to get themselves back on and relevant into other lanes, and that's what it's all about when you have something like this Twisted Fate. It's not about winning lane, it's not about coming out ahead in gold or even in, you know, kind of like pressure. It's about what you do for your other lanes. Your effect on top side, your effect on bot lane, and we now see A little bit of pressure now onto Xiaohu as he comes back to his native role in his native place of mid lane, and we'll wait to see what ends up being coming from it. We can see both mid laners being accompanied by their junglers and their supports. So we can see them now trying to look at this particular play. Chaos Storm did come down, so very easy pick up there from the side of JDG, and this is just the power of Leona when you don't have flash.
And you know what? I joked about the draft, right? I joked about leaving the TF open. JDG have adapted, right? So complete credit to them. They had a pretty similar draft. They didn't really change too much, but they said, right, this is what we did wrong. And they've started to look at how they can capitalize on that. And they are targeting Xiaohu. Twice in a row, he's just died very quickly in short succession, and missing, instigating that one by diving him, knowing he has flashed this now. This could be a bit of an overstay here. Xiaohu is coming over and has Ignite available. Destiny now popped.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. It's going to be secured by Sion, who sacrifices his life for the dragon. Now they can trade back 2 more. This is a bit of a risky situation now. 3. That's 3 swift kills here. 2 for Wei. Yes, they get the dragon for JDG, but I don't know if that's worth it.
Yeah, just as I'm praising them. Cast a kiss coming in, right?
Yeah.
Overstepping. And it's kind of the thing I was talking about earlier today about the stronger teams in the league don't give those opportunities for mistakes. This was JDT. They had an advantage. They felt overconfident, and they're like, we can do dragon. What's stopping us? The thing is, right, Yagao and LPC win in position, win hitting the dragon, so it was very slow. And it gave time for Xiaohu to get in, able to Destiny, and able to assist. And then, yes, they did secure the dragon. But all those kills in favor of RNG, much more valuable right now. We do get to see the replay. So again, slow dragon, there's only the support in the jungle. Hitting it, Kanavi's already so low on the outset.
Yeah, it doesn't really work out for them. And you can see there, LPC not quite with the team, not really putting out the bombs, because what you want from that position is as RNG are rolling in, LPC is just chucking out bombs, getting them to about maybe 2/3 or half their HP, and then it just didn't really happen. So after that point, he had to walk away. He could not have the impact he really wanted, and that's just an easy setup now for RNG to clean up all the kills, and this puts Wei in a nice position where he can now look to try 1v1 Kanavi right now, because he's got the Cataclysm, forcing the kick out as well. So it's a trade of jungler ultimates. While that's happening, here comes the pain train. They're going to try and see if 369 can do something with his ultimate. He does land on top of the Nautilus. He will be sacrificed. And at the end of it all, it is JDG equaling up the kill score.
I do like that. I like the more agency, right, that the Scion provides there. They start to escape. You get the Scion charging down. You know, it seems to be doing more for them already, and they are going to be able to take this Herald, I would think, with Gala on the other side of the map. I just don't think there's too much chance for the contestant, but I've been wrong before. We do see that JDT are now at least making the right decision. They're bringing 4 members in to make sure they have that firm numbers advantage.
They can go for it. There's going to be the Flag and Drag away. The Rift Herald down to about 1,000 HP. They could take it with a smite and a hit of the eye, and they do. Flash forward doesn't actually land onto anything right now. While this is all happening, this is kind of just a delay game right now from RNG, because Aphelios is playing PvE. He's just getting free hits onto this turret and bot side. He might get an entire turret to himself, and no one will respond.
Yeah, expert play from RNG, because despite JDG getting the Herald, what they did is they made JDG think there was going to be a fight, right? They kept baiting them in, they kept bringing them to the point that they actually TP'd LPC in, right? The Ziggs could have easily cleared that bot lane wave, but instead he was forced to come to the Herald because JDG were toying with this idea of a fight. If JDG just disengaged instantly, they could have walked out, Ziggs could have TP'd bot, they wouldn't have lost those plates, and they wouldn't have lost all those waves of gold. So honestly, just good play from RNG. Even when they're losing out on the Herald, they still make it difficult for JDG.
Big win there for RNG, just to keep the gold in their ascendancy. Yes, like we said, they lose out in that, but just getting that gold onto the Aphelios. Let's have a look at the replay here. This is just the Scion coming in just to try and kill off the Nautilus. And it's a good idea here from the side of RNG to try and say, look, we know we're stronger. Wei just came back after 2 kills, but didn't really respect the amount of people were going to be there sitting lane and wait.
Yeah, and that's the advantage that Sion offers, right? In the game before, Akshan Graves, they kind of just kept to themselves and farmed. But here, 369 is able to charge in and is able to kick things off and get them started. So, nice to see. But again, it was that overstay. Beyond that, that was the problem that we were seeing. But for now, there is a gold lead for RNG, but I think JDG are kind of okay in this situation. They do have that dragon in pocket. It is going to mean that RNG can't just stack up the soul nearly as quickly as they did last game.
See them all kind of go for it now. 1 minute till that dragon spawns, like you mentioned. It is about a 1,500 gold lead. You are going to want to get Gala back so he can get his Gale Force, keep himself safe, get himself away from the Leona and the Lee Sin. But at the end of it all, JDG looking a lot more clean at the start of this game compared to the last. They will have their Uber tank in the Scion on the top side, so they have a little bit more of a proper engage coming in to go in with Kanavi. So they will be feeling a little bit more confident the longer this game goes on, the more items they're able to stack up.
Yeah, it's just my concern is the damage profile, right? When we get late, you have 2 AP scaling mages, you have a top lane tank, you have a bot lane tank in the Leona, and then you have Lee Sin, right? Lee Sin doesn't really carry enough AD damage to you know, warrant itemizing against him. You might grab a Zhonya's, that's more for the active than anything. But like, especially when you look at the items we got in the off season, the new Force of Nature, that thing when stacked reduces magic damage taken by 25%, right? And it gives 70 MR. It's insane in this game. Way will definitely buy it at some point, but they're gonna go for a play on 369.
Yep, there's no real place for him to go. He will go back off into zombie form. Xiaohu's just CCing up, or excuse me, tanking up as much as they possibly can. They will stop him from clearing the wave, and that's going to be another dragon for JDG. So RNG opting out of contesting for this dragon, opting in to trying to just keep this top wave going, keeping the Jayce ahead.
And it's kept spicy. It's going to be a Chemtech Soul. So JDG suddenly very happy about their decision to invest early, but we're seeing engaged.
We do see it engaged. The Cataclysm is going to be forced out. LPC has no flash left. He does have the satchel charge, but a flash forward from Gala because he is fearless. They are going to be able to pick up a kill. They got a little bit greedy. They wanted that gold. They wanted those plates in that mid lane with the satchel charge. They will not get it.
Yeah, a bit overzealous, and it was close. That's the thing. When you get a tower low, you see the little icon above it as a Ziggs. You so want to get that cash in, but just step too far forward. Both off the carries on JDG burning their flashes, and Wei capitalized on it very expertly. It was surprising that Ming got out. The Mega Infinibon from LPC a little bit rough in connecting, but he still had his flash, so I think he would have been able to get away regardless. But yeah, I mean, you're stepping too far forwards. You don't even have Kanavi there, which is a big question mark for me. Like, why are you going for this? Having the Lee Sin there to kick away would be so big. And in this situation, you know, LPC still has the satchel, but actually it was Wei, sorry, who was low, not Ming. But yeah, doesn't kill Wei. The Mega Inferno Bomb a little bit scuffed there. Either way, it's good capitalization from RNG once again, and now 3,000 gold up.
I saw this last time as well in the game 1, where this Ziggs, where yes, your early power where you're able to get, oh, stop myself there, it's Ming who's get caught out just a little bit, takes a good chunk of his health out. They will jump on top of him, force him into the Zhonya's. Now we can see that Wei trying to defend his support, who flashes away and gets himself out. They are going to be able to get the Scion as well. They traded off 1 for 1. It's the Jarvan for the Scion. You're still pretty okay with that if you're RNG, because you're look at your health bars, you're feeling pretty fine about this. The hook will not land, but it doesn't have to because it lands onto the terrain, and Gala gets himself another kill.
If it was just a one for one, JDG can be happy because Viktor's in the side lane. But the fact they take the Ziggs, the one with the wave clear as well, it now actually forces Yagao to TP and defend this tower. So it's just win after win for RNG on this front.
Big win there on RNG, just kind of out-muscling, out-powering JDG. And JDG are the ones who looked for that fight. They wanted to burn out the Nautilus, but just the extra tankiness he had, the Merc Treads coming out huge because he wasn't stunned up for as long as they probably wanted him to be, and they're just able to delay and delay and delay.
Yeah, this is not the ideal. I mean, there's pros and cons, right? One of the positives of this is that, you know, LPC can just fire over the wall. He's completely safe. People have to commit, like, dashes to get to him. But the other thing is, like, you see, like, Lee Sin diving in, Leona diving in, have to flash out, dash out, and then it's like walking back. You don't need to go this way, LPC. Go through the jungle with Kanavi. You take the most dangerous route possible. And yes, obviously, you're going to die in that situation.
Get back to the fountain faster, capitalize. You know, it's all about the capitalization right now. You gotta be smart about the game. But you're absolutely right. It is now still about a 3,000 gold, actually just under 8.5 for the side of RNG. It will be equaled out a little bit here by JDG as they finally get that tier 1 in the mid lane, their first tower of the game. Is putting them in the ascendancy for the moment. Rift Herald has spawned, but it's 2 minutes until the dragon. They have the Destiny Gate to see where everybody is. They know exactly what you're trying to do here, JDG. You need to try and find a sneakier route if you want to get that objective for a fight for free.
I will get pulled out a fair bit there. Yeah, it's really considering if they go for this. His Jayce poke is so scary, right? If you're trapped in the pit, very easy for Wei to get a great Cataclysm. No flashes on the carries. Remember from that last fight, the critical thing, Yagao no flash, LPC no flash. Perfect scenario for a Jarvan to capitalize here.
On 369, he will just be a meat wall, but if you can thread the needle like that, he will not need to deal with the Scion at all. Now we can see him go in, he completely whiffs, and they're going to be able to CC him down. The solar flare hits literally nothing. That's 2 massive ultimates that whip. They will get the Nautilus, but they traded for the Scion. He will get his passive out. Chaos Storm has come down. It's a trade of 2 for 1 in favor of JDG. They get the Rift Herald, still a good fight for them.
Yeah, honestly, credit to JDG there, and this is the power of that Scion they now have available to them, because the Scion didn't actually do that much in terms of landing damage, but it bought time, right? They all had to disengage away, they all had to back away from him, and then they had to spend time killing him. In the meantime, Wei didn't even manage to get his ult off because he just couldn't get close to Yagao and LPC. So honestly, the difference we made with this Scion pick is being seen already.
Big moves here from the side of JDG, just being able to make this Scion pick work for them. And we had questions about this draft, we had questions about the Scion pick, and we'll see how long this game goes on for. But for the moment, JDG still keeping within touching distance of RNG.
Yeah, so I think the thing to watch here is 369. So he ults, obviously doesn't connect, but look at Gala bin, how they just have to walk away from the decimating smash. There's a good portion of this fight, they aren't really doing anything. And they do finally kill him, obviously, but in this meantime, Yagao and LPC have just fired all their damage down onto Ming and Wei, and Ming and Wei are much easier targets to burn through than a Scion.
Well, Chem Dragon is available. I kind of want Scion to get the Chem Soul to see how that interaction works out for them. But Kanavi has already been down to half HP, so they got to give this one up. They drop Rift Herald into mid. So they're looking to try and pressure out the mid lane. I feel like they maybe wanted to try and say, look, you either take the Dragon or you defend your mid tier 2, but RNG will have their cake and to eat it, so they will get both versions of that world. As I say that, Xiaohu forced to use his cleanse.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they had to straighten right. They got the cleanse from Xiaohu, they take it, they back off. It is only a spell book cleanse, it's not that big of a deal. But they take the mid tier 2. They don't opt to contest the dragon because they didn't have TP from 369. They also just didn't want to risk it when they didn't have control of the area. One of the things is, you know, because RNG lost that last fight, they actually managed to get back on the map quicker. And I like the fact that JDG didn't force their way in there and throw away after they found an advantage. So they closed the goal gap. It was 3k, I believe, before that Herald fight. It's now only 2,000. And yes, they lost that dragon, but the fact they have 2 in the bag already means they can afford to give away a dragon or 2.
How much damage you can do here, Gala? Probably about half of its HP, as the DP does end up getting coming in for 369. He has got the spell book, so he's going to be able to rotate through a couple of different things. Maybe get an exhaust or an ignite out very, very soon. So for 369, he's not too unhappy losing that. Now has his turbo chem tank and seeing if he can just build up an unholy amount of armor. And to be honest with you, armor is all he has to build. The magic damage from the Twisted Fate is negligible. So this Scion will actually become impossible to kill very, very shortly if he gets the 3 armor items.
You know, you say that, but the Aphelios does deal with tanks pretty well,
fair.
right? If it's red-white, he already has the Lord Doms. He should be able to shred through him. But I will say, in this mid-game point, that's when tanks really excel, right? I mean, I know that Gala has picked up the Lord Dominic's now, so he already has 10, but he doesn't really have, like, an IE. He doesn't really have extra items where 80 carries start to really punch. So at this point, he is going to be a bit of a brick wall that does take time to cut through.
It's 4 turrets to 2 now, as RNG do try and get a little bit of control back to their bottom top sides. They will put Aphelios into the mid, pick up that way as well. And we're still 3 minutes away from the next dragon. JDG not quite on soul just yet. And I will say the actual Chem Soul, or the Chem Dragon, is great in terms of the base buff it gives you as well. The longer this game goes on, the more dragons that RNG can get of this particular variety makes it a hell of a lot easier to deal with the Scion as well, because it does percentage of damage compared to if it's a champion has more current health than you. So it does a lot to take down those big tanks.
Absolutely. Very useful against the Scion, so we'll appreciate that one they have already. Now, they are looking for Kanavi.
Trying to get them. They will land the gold card, but there's no real follow-up there. So just fishing. It's not really that big of a cooldown at this stage in the game. You've got it up past the second rank, so you are going to be able to make things work for you. And I will say, with the Chem Rift, it even makes the Chem, or the Destiny Gate, even that bit more important for your team. Because if you cannot see where the rest of the team is, and you're looking for a Baron or a Dragon, having that extra little bit of vision can just be huge.
Yeah, and that's often something that teams do, like to cheat map control. Like when one team swept out an area, it's very hard to approach if you don't see them. So the team of the TF will just pop the ultimate so they can walk in with full information. And that's especially true, as you said, with the Chem Soul map. It obviously really makes it difficult to walk in when you don't have any vision.
This game's coming into a little bit of a lull. I think both sides very happy to play around those objectives. RNG looking for, like you said, the picks to find odd number skirmishes, get themselves behind enemy lines with the Destiny Gate, whereas JDG very happy with this incredibly traditional front-to-back team composition with the Scion, the Leona going in with Kanavi's Lee Sin, and then of course you have the backline damage with the Viktor and the Ziggs. So both teams have very clear ideas of where and what they want to be doing. For either side, it's about execution. It's about how you come back out of this and really make this work. And honestly, the longer this game goes on, the scarier this Aphelios becomes, because this is a lot to be said about an Aphelios once he gets 3 items.
Yeah, it becomes problematic. You'll eventually get to the point, because kind of now it's like you don't want to be hitting 369, but Gala's going to struggle to hit anyone other than 369 in most fights. And also 369 does cause issues, right, when he charges at you. But eventually it gets to the point where Gala can shred through him to a reasonable degree. But that being said, Sion is one of these hyper tanks that does scale extremely well. He is still going to be bulky late in the game. It's just, you know, you are against Aphelios. With the right gun, he turns anything to paper.
They're the paper, he's the scissors. Spike Gwen being banned in this series completely, and
Camille as well.
Yeah, oh my god, you're right. Oh my god, the dots are connecting. It's nothing to do with the champions being OP, it's the scissors.
Yeah.
It's like
both of them.
Theories,
I just like how both of them are scissor champs and both do like insane true damage. Right.
Yeah, scissors do true damage. Well, speaking of damage, we're going to see now Ming taking a lot of it as he tries to get himself away. Flashes away. They will get the Cataclysm down, forcing 369 to take his own flash away from him. So the Chaos Storm is down. A lot of AoE no longer available. You no longer have those big ultimates here for JDG, whereas RNG, they're kind of sitting pretty. They still have the Aphelios looking very powerful, and the Destiny Gate to figure out where everyone's going to be.
Yeah, 369 could reset and TP. Oh, that's a lot of damage. They need to deal with this. They can't get flanked in this situation. It looks like they might just Desperation Dragon.
It's 5v4. There's the Moonlight Vigil on the move forward. There's 2 quick kills for Gala. They get the zombie mode out as well. 3 for Gala. Triple kill for him. He will even survive off of the back of it as well. Another dragon goes over to the favor of the side of RNG, and they're going to go straight for that big purple worm and make it a bigger advantage.
It's the power of the Gale Force, and it's Gala finding the right time, because one of the things I've been talking about is the short range of Aphelios can sometimes make it difficult to get in the right targets, but he finds this window to Gale Force in, to use his flash as well, and the burst damage available is enough to just pop the side of JDG. They're going to take 2 towers here. Looks like they're not going to go for the Baron, choosing the immediate gold rather than risking the Baron attempt, especially since Kanavi could steal, because something to bear in mind is that they are respawning very quickly, and that's a TP flank coming in.
That is a big TP flank.
But no flash
There's
from
double.
Gala.
They're going to go for it. They're going to try and see if they can catch Gala. Ming will give away his life, but they've got the dredge line going out, and it's actually going to be Yagao separated, so it's a bit of a scuffed fight right now. Gala's got red and white. He's still surviving. He eventually goes down, but it's a 3-for-1 still in favor of JDG. They may look just for this Baron.
Oh, beautiful play. I love the TP flanks. You know, you don't get them before 14 minutes anymore, but they come in now, finding a great opportunity to capitalize, and that was the thing. Gala bit Flash and Gale Force, but it's not over yet. Bin is coming in. There's a lot of poke available between these two. Definitely threatening.
This is slow. This is so slow. You can see without having a natural AD carry, it just isn't as quick as you'd want it to be. The Baron down to about 3,000 HP. They know they have Smite. They know they can secure it. It's going to be on Bin to try and go for it. They will not get it. Can they stop any of these recalls? Actually, never mind. It's going to be JDG looking to try and kill off Bin. They know that he's separated from Xiaohu. They will get the slow down. He will be taken out. And that's JDG firmly back in this game.
Oh, the comeback is there. JDG capitalized expertly. And the big thing is, we saw Gala burning his mobility. And we can watch it here. So Gale Force in, get the autos, flash out of the decimating smash. And perhaps that's the thing. Did he need to flash there? Yes, DC was coming in, but no one was really a threat to him. He was full HP. And his flash not being available for the next fight may have been the thing that clinched it. Because we see this situation coming in here. They know that the Aphelios has no mobility available. He's walking slowly, and Ming does his job, right? He blocks for him. But where is Gala to go when there's both of these two in his way and he can't get over the wall? If he had a flash over the wall there, it could be a very different story.
Could have been a very different fight. Because of that, they see now JDG have themselves the Baron. They've got themselves the advantage of pushing in those side lanes. They will have to deal with them at the moment. They're a bit unruly as the enemy minions do crash into their own turrets. But using the Chem Soul and the Chem Rift to just make their advantages known, saying, look, we have Baron, you cannot walk into us. And this game's a little bit closer than they probably would have expected from RNG, considering how game 1 went.
Yeah, and I think it's showing JDG. I mean, the same thing happened against EDG. They are able to bounce back in their game too, but I'm just hoping that for their sake, they managed to maintain this because they threw that game 2 against CDG away. Here, it looks like they are finding the way back into it. Dragon is going to be up to 2 minutes. And because of those 2 picked up by RNG, we're quite a bit away from soul stuff. And now the main focus is just getting structures, getting gold in your pocket, thanks to that Baron buff.
Now I've got Twisted Fate finishing off, but they're actually going to go for this one. There is the unstoppable charge coming in. They will just knock him back. So 369 just using the ultimate there to secure the turret. They're trying to see if they can catch out Gala. That's a fantastic cataclysm, though. But an even better kick there from Kanavi. He tried to catch out Gala, but Gala get himself away. They will pick up 2. Xiaohu's now finally coming back, but this 5v3 is very difficult now for the side of RNG to defend. They might like lose the game right here, right now.
Could be. JDG definitely a bit on the knife's edge here because health bars are getting low, but they know if they can end the game here, they can equalize the series. Gala, no mobility available once again. Tower down. They're still looking.
So good, a bit of poke though. LPC goes into Zonya, so you can see with the Infernum going, they want to try and get that AoE. They were also trying to capitalize on the fact that Gala hadn't got great guns. These guns combination of blue and purple, not ideal for him in these situations. But they get a Nexus turret, they get themselves out with an inhibitor, and they are able to keep themselves in this game. A minute till Baron spawns, and the gold is basically even.
Yeah, and
Dragon, excuse me.
Kanavi does so much in this fight because not only does he find the kick, but he actually blocks the Infernum. So we see Jarvan goes out, we see they take the tower, the re-engage comes in, and watch the ult from Gala actually get blocked. It's the Calibrum ult actually, but Kanavi, when he dashes in, blocks the Moonlight Vigil and kicks Ming back. So instead of Gala doing a ton of damage to everyone, he hits 1 target, and they also manage to get another pick. So really nicely played from Kanavi. Not sure how planned it was, but it worked out. And now 30 seconds till that Dragon, they're back on the map.
Back on the map, you still have Gala, who have his flash and cleanse available. Let's have a look at the summoners going down. No flash for Kanavi. Got Yagao just a little bit off, as is LPC. So you're looking at those big cooldowns. Honestly, I think if you're RNG, I don't think you really want to fight this just now. You're still waiting to get yourself up into a, real one-shot territory with this Jayce build. So I honestly don't mind them giving this one up.
And the thing is, I was talking about the damage profile, but no one on RNG is really tanking up for the lack of AD damage to matter. And 369 has just done such a good job on this side at tanking up shock blast, tanking up damage from everyone, that it's meant as we go late in the game, it hasn't been as much of a problem, right? RNG's carries just don't scale as well, with the exception of the Aphelios, but the Aphelios is still suffering a bit from that lack of range.
I mind seeing maybe pick up a rapid fire cannon, as Aswan has gone with the stopwatch just to give himself that little bit of extra survivability in these fights. And like I said, if we're waiting for the summoners to come up, you're still waiting for maybe half an item or so for your carries on the side of RNG. But for JDG, they're happy to just accept these waves. It is a fight that you need if you're RNG, because you can't push these towers until this Viktor or this Ziggs, or preferably both, are dead.
Yep, it's a problem, right? And this is the thing, is that their tool to get on them is the Jarvan, okay? That is the major tool that they can reliably use, but they've been playing well at sort of not giving them any opportunities, and now both the flashes are back available. And that's the problem. That is the issue, is that once the flashes are there, if you commit, if you cataclysm and they just flash out, that's a lost team fight. A lost team fight at this stage of the game can just lose the entire thing. So RNG definitely have to be more cautious in this situation, and they're not being given many windows to capitalize on the destiny. If they can find someone isolated, great. You can pick them off, you take them out, then you have a numbers advantage. But for the most part, it hasn't really opened up.
Just trying to get a little bit more damage there. Missing takes a fair chunk of his own health bar. Baron spawning, excuse me, in just over 30 seconds. Gonna see if they can just get this out. No real contest right now around any objective. You are on soul point for JDG. They would have Scion again. I'm very, very curious to see if Scion gets this, because I want to see how it looks. But he's just walking around. He's a little bit by himself, so needs to be a bit careful. He is very, very tanky. Going for pure HP as his final few items there. Looking for a Warmogs, I imagine, so he can take that poke and just back away. But already RNG with those resets coming in from JDG saying, look, we can get control over this Baron pit, which is spawning in about 10 seconds.
Kind of interesting that we've got a Ninja Tabby coming out from way. Not sure there was really that necessary in this game, but
they burned this. They burned this so quick.
It's gonna shred it.
They're gonna get to shredded. They see there's gonna be the Mega Inferno Bomb. They're gonna get Kanavi! stolen away, and there's nothing else that RNG can do. They need to try and take this fight. They need to look for these kills, but you can just see how damn tanky everyone is. Moonlight Vigil goes completely wayward, and that's JDG now finally in the ascendancy of this game. They can look to push in these lanes. They can look to try and end this series, or sorry, keep this series going.
RNG just flip it. They just let an opportunity arise where it can be a 50-50. And the thing is, when you're playing a Jarvan against a Lee Sin, you don't even have a 50-50, right? A Lee Sin has the execute damage from his Q. He's going to win those more often than not. You gave them an opportunity to easily pick that one up. And also, I love the decision making from JDG where they decide to back off. And I'll show you exactly why they opted to back off in this one. So yeah, execute comes in. Actually, I think it might have been the execute tick that actually secured it. Might. Not sure on the time or not, but either way, if you look at Gala right now, look at all of those shurikens spinning around him, and they just opt to not commit into that. They make the right call. They keep the Baron buff. They are still down a little bit in gold, but Baron buff in hand, they're feeling confident. TB coming in for 369.
They're looking for Bin. They're going to see if they can catch him out. They're going to invest absolutely everything on top of him. There's two big ultimates down, though, for the side of JDG. They will not get anyone caught out. Good return damage here from Bin. Just loses his flash. But it's testy times right now for RNG. They need a big moment from Gala. Gala is the carry. Gala is the guy who is the only way they can come out of this with a win. They're doing decent damage there onto the Scion. It's not going to be enough if they want to try and take this game. As I say that, LPC will go golden, and the Cataclysm comes in. It's on to 5 members. The solo player is even better, though, as it lands on the 3 to try to catch out Gala, and Ming. Wei will fall. They trade it out for Ziggs, though. Jungler for your AP carry, you will take that trade. But with the Baron buff still available, JDG are still pushing strong.
Yeah, they could potentially look for something. If they kill Yagao, they'll feel pretty comfortable to take a fight off the back of that. But JDG don't give them the opportunity. They took the tower. They got there they wanted. They should back off, I think. You can see pings coming out, toying with the idea of a TP, but no, it's the wrong call. Back off. 40 seconds on Dragon Soul. It's the Chemtech Soul. We've been talking all day about how broken this thing is. So absolutely, you want to be ready for that one. You're going to have LPC ready and available. I'm not sure if TP... I think TP might be some time when he's up, so you can get straight in there. This is the opportunity to clutch out the game. And you have to look at the summoners, right? Gala bin both of his summoners in that last fight. No flash, no cleanse. Wei, flashless. Bin, flashless. Xiaohu, flashless. Does have the ghost from the spellbook, but this is prime conditions for JDG to take the soul and take the game.
There is a TP ward available for Bin if he does decide to go for this. Destiny Gate, they're going to see. Look at the damage, though, onto that Scion. But never mind. The Ziggs does just do so much more. Gala is dead. The Jayce is dead. This game is over, and we're going to a game 3.
LPC with the triple. The engage is beautiful. 369, making me eat my words. The Scion came in huge. That reliable engage. He's able to find the front line. He can soak damage. I mean, you saw how much damage he took there. It didn't matter. He soaked it all and allowed his team to capitalize. Huge game from JDG, and they will equalize the series.
JDG bouncing back in game 2, bringing us to another 3-game setup. RNG now have to think about what they were going to do to try and answer this big tanky 369 top side, because they almost had an identical composition.